News Rants, a podcast about news stories that could get a bit ranty. All views expressed on News Rants are those of myself and any contributors. Hello and welcome to the 6th, I believe, episode of News Rants. I wasn't paying much attention to the count, but I'm pretty sure it's the 6th. Now, yesterday, as of time of recording this in the news, the government announced that it would send all the illegal immigrants that rock up on the south coast of this country to Rwanda. All these illegal immigrants are fit, healthy young men that could potentially fight in a war. So, yeah, they shouldn't even be coming here. I won't refer to these illegal immigrants as refugees or asylum seekers because I do not believe that that's what they're coming here for. They're coming here for economical purposes. So, they need removing because they are not lawfully allowed to be in this country. And you already know how I feel about that. So, why I think this is actually a brilliant idea, because Boris has even got the Navy involved now as well, at long last. He's been meaning to do that for a while. So, it's a good idea. Put them on a plane, send them 5,000 odd miles away to Rwanda for processing, and if their asylum claim for the UK is accepted, then they can legally come back. Otherwise, they're not coming back. Simple as that. This will also stop the nasty, disgusting, hateful people smugglers that these people are actually paying money to get them across the English Channel in the rubber dinghies, which are really not seaworthy craft by any stretch. However, the reason why I'm doing a news rant on this is because all the lefties have decided, oh, it's illegal, oh, it's unethical, oh, it's racist. It's none of those things at all. We have a border of this country, like every country. We have immigration rules, and those immigration rules, if not obeyed, will result in you being deported. You don't obey them, you will get deported. Simple as that. You do not have the right paperwork, you do not enter this country. Simple as that. So, what is there to be done, really, about the left? Well, first of all, the left need to look at the facts and stop saying it's racist, because it certainly isn't racist. It's controlling the border of the United Kingdom, which some on the left have actually been calling for. Surprisingly enough, control of our borders. But some on the left want an open border so anyone could just walk in and out. I mean, while that works on mainland Europe, where you cross borders of different countries without any passport checks for the most part, it doesn't really work that well here because this country is an island. Quite a big island, but it's still an island. It's completely surrounded by water. So the only way in is either by a boat or by a Eurotunnel or by air. So if you flout the immigration laws, you are going to get into serious trouble, and if you don't have your paperwork, you go back to either from whence you came, or in the case of these illegals, you go to Rwanda. It's not racist, it's upholding the immigration rules of the United Kingdom. So stop saying stuff like it's racist, it goes against international law and all of that. One of the things Boris has said is he's going to defend the plan from the lefty lawyers, and hopefully that will work, because all these lefty lawyers, what they like to do is they like to pull all the illegals off the deportation flights at the very last second. Boris isn't going to allow that to happen. Or that's what he claims, and I'm hoping that he succeeds in this. So the lefties need to zip. Now, there are definitely two prominent lefties that have piped up that know nothing about politics, know nothing about the immigration rules of this country. I know a little bit because I'm having to deal with the immigration laws. And, you know, they are ex-footballers. They're both called Gary Lineker, who's famous for getting a disgustingly high salary at the BBC for presenting Match of the Day, and also advertising Walker's Crisps, which I'm boycotting because he advertises them. I don't want to be giving him any of my money. And then you've got Gary Neville. I'm not sure if he's connected to presenting football programmes in any way, but he does pipe up now and again when the other Gary Lineker pipes up. So, you know, he put a tweet out as well. I can't find the tweet to hand at the moment because I don't have a web browser open and I don't have my phone to hand. So I've not got my phone in the studio, which is my living room. And I can't remember what the tweet from Gary Lineker said either, but I've retweeted at least one of the things that they've said from both Garys. I'm not sure if it's on the News Rants Twitter, which is News Rants 2022, or whether it's on my own personal Twitter feed, which I will probably put the link to that in my in the show notes. So, why two ex-footballers are getting involved in this remains to be seen, but they are from the hard left, and they're as left as you can get. I don't like them. I think they should be keeping their noses out of this and let the government get on with their job, and the Labour Party can just go boo-hoo-hoo about it all they bloody want. I don't care, because as far as I'm concerned, the Labour Party is the party of, well, unpleasantness, and has been since 1997, which is probably why our borders are in this bloody state, because I think it might have something to do with them when they were in power. Although, having said that, the dinghy crossings started in 2018, if I'm not too much mistaken. So, lefties, let the government get on with the job of deporting all the illegal immigrants that keep rocking up on Dungeness Beach or wherever it happens to be on the south coast. Sometimes they get brought into Dover Port as well. There's plenty of border force there. So, with the Navy intercepting the dinghies now rather than the border force, I think things might start improving a little bit. And hopefully all of them will be on the next plane to Rwanda. So, that will be good. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't want to see this country overrun by illegals, and I'm sick of them arriving. Because I'm jumping through all of the red tape to get my spouse, who's an American national, into the country legally and above board. And this is why the illegal immigrants coming in dinghies annoys me greatly. As you will probably know from the News Rants episode, which was 4, which I actually covered the subject in. So I think Boris Johnson might have been listening to that. I just have a feeling he might have been listening to me ranting about the illegal immigrants. Although it took a couple of days after that for him to implement this. The other theory on this is that he may have been listening to a radio programme on talkRADIO called The Independent Republic of Mike Graham. It's a programme I highly recommend you listen to, weekdays 10 till 1. Just a bit of a plug for talkRADIO, soon to be talkTV there, because great station. So there you go. Because Mike Graham has actually been going on about this for years. Longer than I've actually been listening to the programme, from what I understand. And you know, listening to the people actually wins your votes, Boris, and I think you might have won some votes here, but we don't know, because people will still be going on about Partygate, which I noticed in the press conference yesterday that Boris Johnson gave, where the BBC and the ITV news reporters not only were asking him about the illegal immigrants and what he was doing with them and the plan for Rwanda and such like, they also asking him questions about Partygate. I think some of the other journalists there as well might have done it as well, but I haven't actually looked at the full thing because I listened to it on talkRADIO and it was cutting between that and Mike Graham. So, there we go. Anyway, this is probably one of the shorter news rants because I'm actually quite happy because the fact that these illegals are going to get deported to Rwanda for processing, and if their application for asylum in this country is approved, they can come back. But if it isn't, they can, well, not come back for starters, because I don't want to see them come back. And as for the people smugglers, who are horrible, disgusting, ghastly individuals that just make money on people suffering for the most part, and the people that don't succeed in crossing the channel drowning, with death and destruction, basically their business model will either be changed, they'll probably come up with something, because these people are usually quite resourceful, unfortunately, and try to stay one step ahead of the law. And, you know, they might come up with a different business model. Because at the moment, the rules are, because it's all young men that are coming across in these dinghies for the most part, is that it's going to be young men, as soon as they rock up in these dinghies, they're going to get taken away, put on a plane, and sent to Rwanda. All of them. And if they don't like it, that's just tough. We know the left don't like it because they're going on about how it's illegal against international law. We've even got some of the human rights charities piping up on that, but I think those charities are actually full of lefty types, which is a bit of a sad state of affairs. And there's also claims that where they've tried this in Australia, that it actually hasn't worked. But in actual fact, Australia have not had any illegal immigrants enter the country on their northern coast, if I'm not too much mistaken. Nothing. So, it does work in Australia, apparently. And I'm going to believe that. So, this has been the News Rants on the great news from Boris Johnson and Priti Patel that all illegal immigrants that rock up on the south coast of England are going to be put on a plane and sent to Rwanda for processing. Excellent news. I'm happy. The left aren't, and that makes me even more happy because they're like all up in arms about it. I don't like lefties at all, as you could probably tell. So, yeah. Keep the borders secure of this country. That was one of the promises of Brexit. And now we're living up to that promise, albeit a couple of years late. So they've just got one last little bit in Brexit to iron out, but I won't touch that. So the lefties can go stew in their own rage, whilst the government does what it's promised it's going to do and get rid of these illegal immigrants. Once and for all being well. So you've been listening to News Rants, or watching on YouTube, because you might have been watching on YouTube. I don't know. It depends on how you're getting this, because you can get us on Spotify, you can get us on Apple Podcasts, you can get us on Google Podcasts, and you can get us on YouTube in Vision. And you could also now buy me a coffee. The link to that will be in the show notes. So you can buy me a coffee, because, you know what? I like coffee. I have coffee. Nice coffee. So, try and have a drink in near the mixing desk, because I might accidentally spill it in there and blow it up. That would be bad, because I don't think I can get an identical mixer. That doesn't matter. So, you have been listening to News Rants, and I will catch you in the next episode, where I hope to be ranting about something else. Until the next one.